Okay, so just uploading the quick vase YouTube video. So while that's happening, I thought I'd just check out the software and create something perhaps a little bit more useful. See how it performs when other things are happening, because there's quite a lot of obviously upload download work going on for the internet. So what we're going to do is again, I apologise for the sound quality; it's not particularly good, and I've got a cold. I will try to sort it out for future videos. So what I'm going to try and do is going to make a little sandpaper wedge, like one of these little wedges where you get a little bit of sandpaper and you wrap it around the wedge and you screw it down for sanding little tiny bits and pieces. So it's like a sanding block, but with a little screw type things. We're going to use some of the more selection tools over here and scaling and road deforming and stuff like that. So let's start off with a cube, as all good projects should. Let's have a look. So I want that in the middle. I don't know why. It's obviously what I was previously working on. So let's build this left to right. So actually what I want to do is I want to make this thing around it probably about should we say 120 long, height, let's say reasonable size, 40, perhaps 40 depth. Width, we're not particularly interested, we're not doing much width, but we'll keep it as 2 segments. So width-wise we want 4 segments because that's there. Height-wise 2, it's more or less what we want to leave. Depth-wise, let's stick to 2, just makes it a lot easier so we can see where the middle is. And that's basically our basic shape. So if we're happy with that, yeah, okay. So we've got a block now here, but we want to start manipulating that a little bit. So I'm going to put this into wire mesh, so I can see the wire mesh. And you see these are all the grids it's made. So the way this tool works is you say, oh, I want to start working with faces. So you click the face here if you want to keep the edge or the vertices, but we're going to go with faces. And what we want to do is we want to make this into a sort of a wedge shape. Now I want to do this consistently on both sides, so I'm going to select all the things, so I've got slits from both sides, and I want to scale them. So let's move this down. Keep an eye on that y-axis thing over there. Let's make it about 6. Now, we'll be able to get into small places. That seems reasonable. Okay. And then what we want to do is, so that's fine. So let's get rid of that scale. So what we're going to do is, so that's the shape of our wedge. Our sandpaper is going to come down this side, around the bottom thing, so we're going to use this bottom edge for sanding. So we need to do something in the middle here to actually cut out. So we're going to cut out two things. We're going to cut out a block, first of all, and then we're going to think. So we can do this one of 2 ways. We can either select these. What we'll do is so if we could select these, and we could say, well, actually, what I want you to do is I want to extrusion, which essentially is the same as, so you can extrude them, but you can also come down as well a bit, but let's go with the so let's go with the old school methods of designing, the way you probably do this if you were doing it anywhere else. You'd say, well, actually, I want a cube, and actually I want that to be 60 wide. I want the height to be depth to be 40, height to be. Now we're going to position this block 20 up on the axis, so it doesn't really matter. If we bring our object back in, you can see it's what we're trying to do is try to cut down a block in there. Now, temptation on keep doing that. Keep doing that. It's my mouse. I have to sort that out. So we've got this block. So luckily we remember to change. So the temptation on this is when you're cutting objects, is to say, like, well, actually, I want the height to be 20. So that cuts exactly where it is. However, I always find good practice is actually to say, like, well, actually, I want to make it 21. The reason is if you're cutting at 20, you create a block that's 20 and you're trying to cut to a height of 20 as well. Sometimes that can leave behind artifacts in drawing packages, and I'm sure the magic fix will get rid of that, which is fine. So let's okay that. But in this case, so if you want to make a cutting tool, let's make it cut through the object, and so let's extend it slightly beyond. It always helps you in the end. So we're going to call this cut. Let's call this sander, just so we know. So I want to start here by saying, now those two. I want to scoop, stitch and scoop. In this case, it's a scoop, which is a difference. It says, well, select objects to subtract. Which object do I want to select? Well, I want to subtract the cut. Okay. Working it out, and we'll say apply. Splendid. So now we have something called difference 2. Let's just rename that sander. So we know what we're doing, and there we go. So we've got the basis of that. So we obviously need something in the middle there to clamp that down and things. So let's go about constructing the pin and everything else. So what we're going to do is, we know that we've made this 40 high. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a 1 centimetre block, a 10mm block in there, and then a screw on top of it so that we can screw it down. So the paper comes round, down, through, and we can screw that down. So let's start by creating a cylinder. In this case, we only want it to be, the radius, we don't want the radius to be massive. 5, height of 10, and the Y position of this is going to be at 20. So that looks about right. So let's just put that on there. Although we want that, maybe we want that to be a bit thicker. So that's probably more like it. So that's fine. So we've got that, and we'll say that's good to go. I'll have one of those, please. So the other thing we want to do is we want to create a screw thread to go on top of that. So let's create a screw. Again, 10, 10, 4. Oh, that's pretty good, that, in terms of where we are. It'd be nice on here if we could scale it up, but let's not hide the other objects. Look, yeah, it looks good. That all looks good. But let's generate the nut as well. You know, we might as well, if we're going to make a screw, you might as well make the nut for it that goes with it at the same time. So that looks pretty good too. So we'll generate those. Excuse me. Suffering with my cold. Summer colds, always the worst. So we've got a screw and a nut. let's move those into the right place, shall we? Start by moving, and it says, hey, where do you want to move them to? And I know already that I want to move them to 30. So instead of dragging them up, let's type that in here. 0. Click off of that so it actually does it. And that looks pretty good to me. So now we have a nut, a bit, and so for the side B, now I want to let's just select that and just hide that. I don't particularly want to see that, and let's have a bit better look at it from this perspective. So that looks pretty good for what we want. So now we need like a little plate to go in there. So let's start again. Cube. And we want that to be, so we're making this 60. So let's come down a little bit with that. Give it a, we want some room to actually get the sandpaper in. So that works pretty good. The height we said we only want to have like a 1 centimetre block. Depth is fine, and it sits at height 20. Let's just see how that looks. That looks pretty good as a block. So let's make that, and then we have a block. But of course, that block's not particularly useful at the moment because it's a solid block, and we want to actually have something that we want to be able to slide it over that rig. So we need a cutting tool. So for this particular case, well, the top radius is 10 and 11. Let's make the top and bottom 11 centimeters. Gives you 1 mil. Well, let's make it a little bit easier to actually get through. In this case, let's just, doesn't matter, it's a cutting tool, so let's make it height. Certainly don't want 20 though, that's the thing. We don't want to start the cutting tool right at the bottom of the block. Just move it down a bit because we want it to cut all the way through, so we don't want to end up with any artifacts on the bottom of that block. So there we go. So that's a tool. So we want to select those two, and it's 2231 that we get rid of these things. So we want to scoop this in, and I want the difference between the two of them, please. And I want to get rid of that cylinder. Processing the difference. Okay, so now you can see we've got like a little plate that goes down through, and that clamps that onto there. So now we've done that, of course what we want to do is this is really 3 distinct pieces of things. There's a plate, there's a nut, and then there's the other bit. There's the base. So let's make that a combined object now. Let's do those objects there. Let's merge those objects together to make one object. So hopefully you'll see now that. So hopefully that should work okay with a bit of friction from the sandpaper. Sandpaper goes round, up and down, underneath there, that little lip. Then you push the plate down and you screw the nut down. And there we go. And that should all work fine. Now obviously if you want to enhance this, you could put some little rounded points in here, get a couple of cylinders, and cut a cylinder out the bottom, add one to the block so that it's sort of like got another little pinching zone there. But for the purpose of this exercise, that doesn't look too bad. So let's put the nut back in. And so we can get a nice pretty picture of this. Let's sort some colours out. Let's say actually I want the colour, I want the bottom bit to be a nice grey colour. Okay, let's make the nuts black. Okay, so that's the nut black. Let's pick a colour. So select object first. My bad. That's grey. And the plating. Why won't that stay grey? Grey. Okay. And there we go. So let's select all those objects. And there we go. Now we have a nice little sanding bar that we can use for anything that we want. What we will do actually is, just because it's, you don't want to tear your sandpaper, one enhancement that we will make to this is, just to show you another piece of tool, is I want to select the edges. Let's put the grid back on so I can see which edges I'm trying to select. Select that edge, that edge. Not really the edges I want. I need to select them. I do select everything. Right. So I want to select an edge. That edge. That edge. So there. That edge. That edge. It's a little edge there because of the way that we shrug this down. 5, 4. Which edge have we got selected? We've got that one. We've got that one. We've got that one. That's the one we're missing. Just trying to find which one we were missing there for a minute. Modify, and let's just have that bevel on there. So let's see how that would work. Let's have a preview of that. So it's not, yeah, it's not too bad. It's got a couple of little issues there with the ends and stuff like that, but so it probably needs a bit more work, and we could probably redo that by simplifying the object first. So we'll leave it off for now, but worth having a look at. But yeah, we'll leave it like that as a nice little sanding block. Thanks for watching, and hopefully speak to you soon.